Good evening. You know what happened yesterday, right? No, day before yesterday, while I was doing my lecture, I was suddenly disconnected, right? So I didn't have any connection with you to inform you to wait for a while. So I sent a message to the campus coordinator and I asked to inform you, but although you were informed, it took like 15-20 minutes. So when I was joining back, you were not there. So we lost like half an hour, right? So today I'm not going to do it today because I told actually to the campus that I'm going to do it next lecture, but you were not aware, no. So I don't think, Krishna, do you know that about that to do like extra half an hour today?
Yes, madam. I waited at the time and no one was there. So I also
Okay.
later only I checked the message in the group, madam.
Right. That's fine. No, now we have like we couldn't cover that lecture, no, so we have already lost like half an hour. So we have to cover that. If we can't do today, we will do next day, right?
Okay, madam.
If you are okay today also, I can do, but I think it's better to do next day because all the students should be aware about that. No, so we have another 2 lessons to complete this module. This is fourth one. Third one we have to finish now, and then I'll start the fourth one. Then in the syllabus we have 6 units. 6 units. For that we need 2 more days, right? 2 more days. So while we are doing those 2 days, like if it is like hard for you to do more half an hour, then we can do like 15 minutes one day and on other day 15 minutes, right? Likewise, we will finish however. Right. So we start from the slide that we left yesterday, right?
Okay, madam.
We were doing unit 4, right? Okay. Sorry, not the unit 4, actually unit 3, right? Today we are going to do unit 4. This one, right? Actually, you were watching a video. Can you remember you were watching a video? While you are watching the video, it was disconnected. Actually, it was suddenly happened. That's one example that disadvantages of e-learning. Even uh, actually, I forgot that I would have joined via my phone and at least talk to you. So I was panic actually. I tried my other devices, other laptop, all the devices were like because I wanted to join from other device, then I don't have WhatsApp in that device, right? So I started to like I tried to log in WhatsApp from that device, then it said you can't log in from 4 devices because already I have logged in 4 devices, including phone. Then I try to send it to my email and then I try to log from that, right? However, finally I connected, and you were not there. It was like, it took like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, right? That's fine. Those are the things that we have to face in e-learning, right? Whenever we are doing online learning, e-learning, we have to have some second option, plan B, right? Plan B. Always we have to have plan B, but the thing is, as teachers, as students, we don't have much facilities in our country, right? If internet connection or signal strength is low, right? If device something happened to our device, what can we do? No, that's the problem. So for online learning, e-learning, we have to have very good facilities, very good facilities. Okay, right. Last
Yes.
day we talked about e-learning technologies and tools. Under that, we talked about learning management system. Learning management system, when we talk about learning management system, it is not only one thing, right? Not only one thing we can do through that, and also not only one name for that, right? There are lots of platforms in these elements. These are the platforms: Moodle, Canvas, Blackboard, Google Classroom, Teachable, and Schoology. So I explained all these things. All the popular LMS platforms I briefly explained. After that, we talked about benefits of LMS for students. Then we came to the second topic, video conferencing and virtual classroom platforms. This is very familiar with you because you always use this. So Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, WebEx, right? Therefore, there are no explanations here about those things. The only thing, there are some features to highlight: real-time interaction, screen sharing, breakout rooms, recording capabilities. We all know about these things. Then we talked about digital content creation tools. Under that, presentation tools, video creation tools, and interactive content creation tools. Then we just explain some practical examples for digital content creations. Uh, then we came to assessment and feedback tools. Assessment and feedback tools. Under that, key tools, we took online quiz platforms, Google Forms, Kahoot, and Socrative. I explained all these things briefly. And then feedback as feedback mechanism, Padlet, Mentimeter, and Google Jamboard. As benefits we talked, we included instant feedback, engagement of tracking, personalized learning. Then we came to this one, educational apps and Web 2.0 tools. I think we stopped from here. Am I correct? Or else, or did we started these integration strategies?
No, madam.
We were doing this, we have to start this benefits of, no, sorry, this one,
Yes.
right?
Oh, we didn't start.
Educational apps and Web 2.2, 2.0 tools, right? So here also we have different categories as educational apps. You know, we have lots of educational apps and tools. Under that, we can categorize them as collaboration tools, research tools, language learning tools, STEM learning tools. Likewise, we can categorize them. Not only these categorization, even there are lots of classifications and categories for these educational webs and tools, right? So collaboration tools means if we can do education with collaboration, right? Collaboration with others as groups, right? So in Padlet and Google Workspace, we can use different collaboration tools. As an example, in Google, there are lots of collaboration tools when you go to Google, right? When you open your Gmail, on the right hand side, top of the right hand side, there are like nine dots, right? When you click each dot, you can find different Google tools, right? Google Forms, Google dogs likewise. So they are collaborative things. If you want to share with others, if you want to work together with others, you can do it. There are options to click on whenever you want to. Sometimes when you make a Google form or Google Docs, right? Or Google Sheet, you can share it with some of your peer. And even you can decide with what do you want to do. Like sometimes you may let others to read that only. Sometimes you might let them to even editing, right? So if you do some collaborative project, you can work together while you are doing something here, other person, your friend also can do something on the same space, right? The person who created that has to give contents, right? Like consent to work on that. That means the permission to the other persons, like editable or readable, whatever you want, you have to give permission for the other person. Uh, like if you are the admin, if you are the person who created that, right? So collaborative tool, research and curation tools. That is especially for research work, right? Especially for research work like Pocket, Evernote, right? Evernote. You can just type these names and just get small idea about these things. Not only these things, there are lots of options. You can't remember all the things, right? You can't remember all the things, but you should know about one collaboration tool, one research tool, one language learning tool, one STEM learning tool. Likewise, you can remember, right? Because for your study, you are working as a teacher, you might need research tool once. Then if you remember one tool, one app, you can use it, right? For your language learning, Duolingo, Rosetta Stone, likewise, there are different tools. STEM learning means what is STEM? STEM means what are the subjects included in STEM word?
Science makes.
Science, maths, technology, engineering. Yeah, good. So for this learning, we call that STEM classes, STEM learning, right? STEM development. There are tools like Brilliant, Khan Academy. Okay. So other than that, if you can find more educational apps, web tools, you just try and see. Right? Unlimited things there are. Okay. Now I'm going to explain integration strategies. What do you mean by integration strategies? Integrate means combine with other things, right? Mix with other things, do something together with other things. When we say integrated subjects, that means we integrate 2 or 3 subjects together. Health and physical education together, we teach health and physical education. They are integrated, right? So here, integrated strategies. Integrated means combine together, right? So when we do this e-learning, online learning, always we have to integrate different strategies. We can't overcome the problems, overcome the challenges in e-learning using one strategy, right? We have to use lots of strategies together, overcome all these problems. Sometimes some strategies are not aligned with the students' learning styles, their interest, their age, then we have to use another strategy. And also we have diverse learners in any classroom, even in online classroom, e-learning classroom. For these diverse learners, we have to use integrated strategies because each of them have different styles, different interests. Therefore, if we use integrated strategies, most of them will be happy, right? Right. How can we integrate then? Best practices to integrate. Now here, one another thing I have to explain, right? Integration means here not only integration of different technological strategies. Hmm? Integration means usually we use this technology integration term, right? In our teaching learning process, uh, while we teach, if we use different technological strategies, we call technological integration. All right. So, when we integrate technologies, especially in e-learning, we have to integrate technology, but this technology should be aligned with learning objectives. That means we have clear learning objectives for every lesson, every subject, every curriculum. Last day also we talked about instructional design models. Instructional design models we make including learning objectives. Based on our education philosophy, we make some learning objectives first of all for any instructional design. Here I use instructional design word for curriculum, right? So now for every subject, every curriculum, every lesson, we have some learning objectives. Whatever technology we use, that technology should be aligned with those learning objectives. If we just use something because we like it, because we feel it is interactive, it is beautiful or attractive, can we use all the technologies we know to any lesson? No, we have to think about learning objectives. If it is not aligned with learning objectives, we should not use, although it is very interactive, very attractive, and we want to use it, right? It should not be included if it is not aligned with your learning objectives, right? Mm. Can we give some examples like that? Right. Just think about one game, right? There is a very interactive game, but it is not aligned with your learning objective. Game is good, but game is not related to your learning objectives, your lesson. Then you should not use it, right? Then in integration, we have to provide clear instructions, right? We integrate some technology, right? Maybe we integrate some different strategies together for e-learning. We should provide clear instructions to our students, right? Without giving clear instructions, they can't understand, they don't get the idea of using that, right? Sometimes we feel like when we know something, we feel like others also know. It's not like that for, especially for students. These things are very new for them, novel for them. Therefore, we have to be very carefully instruct them, very carefully explain them with clear instructions, right? And ensure accessibility, right? If it is not accessible, right? Although we included lots of things, if it is not accessible, what is the point of that, right? What is the point of that? We have to think about that. We have to find about that, study about that, whether it is accessible for our students, right? Sometimes if we like some technology like, just think online quiz, we use online quiz to evaluate students, right? It is like critical evaluation, like the evaluation for grading or giving to check the progress of students. But when we do this online quiz for evaluation, some of the students cannot access that, right? Some of the students cannot access that. It's not like just doing online quiz in the lecture or classroom. For the assessment, when we do online quiz, it's a problem, right? Likewise, we have to ensure accessibility according to the situation. Continuous professional development, it is for you, for teachers. You always have to develop yourselves. You always have to update about new things, new technology to integrate. And encourage student digital literacy. That is also important, right? Basically, usually nowadays, students are very keen about this digital literacy, but we have to check that. Sometimes there might be children without technological digital literacy. That means the knowledge of these digital things, technological things, right? These are the things that we have to consider when we integrate. Different strategies. So I included only that for that. Then we'll see some challenges and considerations in these different digital tools and different digital, what do you call, what is the first idea, technologies, sorry, digital tools and technologies, right? Challenges in using digital tools and technologies. So, right, challenges. Right, these are the potential challenges. Mainly we face these type of challenges in e-learning. Digital divide. What is digital divide? I may have included one side. Oh, no. Right, I have included. So first of all, you tell me what is digital divide? Digital divide. Just think about the word.
Gap between the technology in rural and urban area like that. Some of
Yes, the
most of them like
difference of dividing these digital things, digital tools, technologies, like uh, unequal accessibility, something like that, digital divide, right? Then technology learning curve, I once said in the beginning of this lesson, technology learning curve was there. So I told you, I will explain, right? I will explain that. Then privacy and data security, maintaining student engagement. These are the potential challenges usually we face, right? Before we go to the explain all these things, if we just go through mitigation strategies to minimize, to avoid these challenges, to face these challenges, what we can do, one thing, equity initiatives, teacher training, robust security protocols, interactive design. We will come back to this slide after we explain each. So digital divide, what is then digital divide? Gap between people who have access to technology and those who do not. Very simple, right? The gap between the difference, access to digital tools, technologies, right? It affects people of all ages in both rural and urban areas and across a variety of industries, right? It is not limited to one age, in every age, like in industries, in businesses, in companies, in jobs, not only in education, right? It is a big problem, digital divide. Then technology learning curve, it is like, now just think, in the past we didn't know anything about technology, right? Then we have to gradually know about technology. We have to gradually get some idea about technology. Not only that idea, not only that knowledge, we have to have the skills to use technology, right? So we say process of acquiring technological skill. It is like curve. It is like curve because we have to go through some stages, right? We have to go through some curve, including some stages, right? It is the pathway of acquiring technological skill, right? So if we go through this pathway successfully, if we pass the pathway smoothly, then it will be good. It will be good and it will be helpful as to uh, succeed, right? Survive in this digital era, right? So for this, I just think we don't know anything about technology. Then to acquire these technological skills, we need some time. We have to make some effort, right? After some time, after we make some effort, we can be proficient, right, with these new technologies, right? So this technology learning curve, it is not that much affected on small children, right? Especially adults uh, face this challenge. Actually, going through this technology learning curve is a challenge for adults, right? It is like now you want children, small children, from their birth, like from their early childhood, right? Early childhood, they use technology. It is not a magic for them. It is a usual thing for them. But for adults, it is not like that, right? For people like us, it was new thing in our like young ages, even not in our childhood. Therefore, it is a bit hard pathway to go through. We had to make some hard effort, and we had to, like, sometimes we were hesitated to use technology. We people, actually not we, the generation before we even, they actually are not only hesitated, they are scared of technology. They are scared of technology. So this technology learning curve is something, therefore, we have to face challenges and acquire knowledge gradually, right? So therefore, we can introduce some stages of learning curve: initial stage, intermediate stage, and advanced stage, right? Um, Initial stage means, first of all, whenever we get to know about some technology, we exposure to that new technology, right? Then we feel uncertain, right? And we feel like it is very difficult thing, high cognitive thing, loaded thing, right? But then we need some basic skills, all right? And we are resisted to get that. We are resisted to understand that. We feel like frustrated while we are using some new technology. Right? You just think about now when you do research methodology, you might have to use some softwares like NVivo, SPSS, right? So in the first time when you go to start, initiate these things, initiate to use these things, you feel like it's very hard, right? So you is downloading particular apps, installing particular apps, then working on that, remembering all the pathways. These things will be hard for you, right? Initial stage, it is like that, right? Then intermediate stage, gradually we develop confidence, right? Then we understand main functions of that particular technology, right? Then we feel the cognitive complexity is reduced, right? Firstly, in initiate stage, we feel like high cognitive thing. Now, the cognitive complexity will be reduced in this intermediate stage and increased efficiency, right? Gradually, we improve our skills. This is intermediate stage. It is like that, in the beginning, it's very complicated. After sometimes we feel like, it's a very simple thing, right? Gradually. Then in advanced stage, we are mastery of technological tools. And also we can apply some innovative applications according to our ideas, right? We can integrate with other strategies. We can creatively solve problems using these technologies. It is advanced stage, right? Now, when we come to advanced stage, it is the highest level of this learning curve. So going through this learning curve is a challenge for everyone, right? It's a challenge for everyone. Then another problem, another challenge that we have to face in e-learning, privacy and data security. Data privacy and security, they are related concepts, but not the same concept. They are different concepts, right? What is the difference between this data privacy and data security? Data privacy means that we all have data we share in our websites or in our platforms, digital platforms, social media, right? We share, we collect data, we share data, we use data, right? But for them, there are some ethical considerations, right? And we have to use data with some responsibility, right? Whenever we take, as an example, we get some picture or information or fact from internet, we have to acknowledge that. If we include them in our reports, we have to acknowledge. How can we acknowledge? We include them in our reference list, right? Wherever we include that fact or information nearby within brackets, we name, we mention from where and from whom we took that data or information. We call that citation, right? Citation. Without citation, we can't, rather than it's our own idea in reports, mostly we have to cite because we read lots of things and we include those ideas not in their way of writing. We have to even change the way of writing, right? We have to change it according to our style. We can't write it as it is there. Although we change the writing skill, because we have taken this idea from that author, we have to cite, we have to reference, however, we have to acknowledge that person, right? That is also part of data privacy. And sometimes uh, mm, there are pictures, right? I can't remember the term for that. Intellectual property rights. According to intellectual property rights, what do you call that? Mm, we use some term that we cannot take some pictures or things from internet. We use some term for that. Mhm. Copyrights, right? Copyrights. If it is under copyrights, we can't take them, right? Sometimes we have to get permission. There are some things that freely we can afford, we can take from internet. Some things we can't take. We have to consider about copyrights. Okay. And so that is also part of data privacy. Whatever you take from internet, even for your data, it's like that. It's like that. And that means basically data privacy is protecting the rights of individuals whose data is being collected. Now then, what is data security? Data security, sometimes we can't protect our data, not through these intellectual rights, right? Sometimes they might deleted, right? Sometimes they might be vanished. Sometimes some people, there may be unauthorized access for that data, corruption, right? And also some data that we want to keep confidently, right? We can't do it. Some people might got access, and also availability of data. availability of data. These are about data security, security of data. How can we protect those data? Okay, so these things are two things, data privacy and data security. All right. Before this part I'm going to do, before that we'll go to this again. So what are the challenges? Digital divide, you know now. What is digital divide? Can you tell me what is digital divide? Simply. Gap between
access of internet, like
access
that.
of internet. Yeah. Okay. Technology learning curve is we have to develop our skills
Technological skills.
using of technology. For that, we have to go through some stages, right? And privacy and data security, you understood. Then biggest problem in online e-learning, maintaining student engagement. Now, in next unit, we are going to talk about this maintaining student engagement. Here also, we will just go through it, maintaining student engagement. Some strategies here I included, but in detail, we are going to talk about how to maintain student engagement in e-learning using different strategies. Basically, what are the strategies that we can use? Provide timely feedback. If the students are, if they are doing e-learning, online learning, if we feel like we are not connected, right? If we give, if we respond quickly, to their questions, in their discussions, and also if we give feedback very quickly, especially personalized feedback, then students feel that they are connected. They feel they are connected. For personalized feedback means according to different students' potentials, their ideas, their answers, we can personally means not like secretly, personally means individually to that particular student, particular feedback. Likewise, we can uh, concern about students' personal potentials, unique potentials. It is also something that we can use as a strategy to maintain student engagement. And also use a variety of formats. Why? Because there are diverse learners. Some learners like to visual learning, auditory learning, kinesthetic learning, likewise. Therefore, we can use different formats. Images, videos, audio clips, lectures, different learning experiences. Okay. Then using gamifications, we once explained what is gamifications. It is basically games, including games. Especially we can motivate small children through gamifications. When we do gamifications, we can use different reward system, point systems, giving badges, uh, and through friendly competition, we can motivate children through friendly competitions, right? Not like very harsh, very competitive things we should not include. We should not promote competitions among children, but through friendly competition, we can promote this. We can promote student engagement. And use asynchronous tools. Allow students to work independently. That means not at the real time. Sometimes you can listen to recording and you can go through some other material given by the teacher. not at the same time, not at the real time, but another time, but can go through the same materials. It develops students' independence. It is also good thing to get the engagement of students. Create a sense of community. When you are in these e-learning online platforms, you feel you are alone, you are not connected with others. To change it, creating a sense of community, you can use different strategies like online forums for peer collaboration, uh, and also you can create vibrant communities. Sometimes for that you can use different platforms like WhatsApp groups. Mm, you, as the teacher, has to make it develop it as a community, right? Without let them to feel they are alone in the classroom. You have to develop it as a community. For that, you might use different strategies. And align content and activities with learning outcomes. Align content and activities with learning outcomes. As I tell all the time, learning outcomes are very important in any curriculum. First thing we do in when we create an instructional design curriculum, we decide about the learning outcomes. Whatever content we design, we create should be aligned with outcomes, and consider what knowledge and skills students need to learn and how they can practice them. All these things you have to think while you are creating all these content outcomes. Provide opportunities for practice. Students need regular assessment and plenty of opportunities to practice. Yes, that is also important. You should give some time, opportunities for them to practice. Okay, I think we were watching one video. Let me see. Is this the one? You just tell me, right? I think I should share it again. Now, after I share this, you let me know whether it's the video that we were watching yesterday, right?
Okay, madam.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. Is this the one? Can you remember?
No, madam. This no.
Okay, that's fine. I think at that moment I found another one, but because I didn't finish that a PowerPoint, and I showed you one video. No? Now I will show this, right? The same thing. I think that is also something related to student engagement. Not we will find it and watch it again, right? First of all, we will watch this. This is about student engagement, creative ways to increase student engagement during e-learning. My name is Seshra Padeen. I am a high school biology teacher, and I am in love with all things ed tech. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys 4 creative ways to increase student engagement during e-learning. I'm sure many of you guys out there as teachers have been going through exactly what I've been going through in terms of the school closures that have happened because of the coronavirus situation. And it's been really tough trying to A, figure out this whole e-learning thing, but B, keep my students engaged the same way that I would have them engage in the classroom. Now that they're far away, we're communicating behind a screen. It's
Excuse me, madam.
actually watching them. So we said that pathogens can move and are spread either through direct or indirect.
No, okay, madam.
From the name, direct.
Okay, when I am
means
muted,
you have
you
to
can't
physically
hear.
touch the
Okay, give me a
or
second, I
be
will.
physically. So the first one that I've been using is Snapchat, and perhaps the word educational is not the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Snapchat. Most of us think of this app as a way to send funny, stupid photos to our friends without them having any dirt on us. But think about it. Students love social media. They're obsessed with it. They're used to using social media. They've grown up with social media. So it's only natural to think of using social media as a means to kind of connect with them while keeping it educational. So I've been using Snapchat for a variety of things. First of all, it's an excellent communication tool and it helps me stay connected with my students without me having to give out my number. Sometimes I get asked the same question by several different students. So I can just use Snapchat to create really quick mini lessons or mini tutorials, and I make sure that everyone is actually watching them. So we said that pathogens can move and are spread either through direct or indirect contact. Just from the name, direct means you have to physically touch the or be physically come in contact with the infection, with the pathogen. I can also keep track of who's watching my post and who's actually engaged with my content. I also use it as a way to increase accountability amongst the students by creating these, I call them featured posts. And it's a great way to send daily positive reminders or even like positive daily messages in order to maintain those relationships that you've established within the classroom, because that can be kind of hard when you're only seeing them from behind a screen. The second app I've been using is Flipgrid, and Flipgrid is an excellent social learning website. It allows students to post video responses to assignments. This is a great way to guarantee that the students are actually doing the work, because a lot of the times when you have them write written assignments, you're not sure if the student's actually doing the work themselves or someone is helping them out for them, or even they're copying it from other people. By having them respond to your assignments in a video format, you guarantee that the student has done the work, they understand the concept, and they're able to re-explain it to you or answer your questions, and you're able to see that because it's a video. It's also a much better way to respond to assignments than writing something down, in my opinion. The website also does an excellent job of having add-on features. So it allows students to use things like stickers and filters. It allows them to edit their videos. It allows them to add text and even drawings onto their videos. It has a whiteboard feature. So it has so many cool features that allows them to really customize their videos, have fun with it. And once they upload the videos, it shows up on this grid. That's where the word, I guess, Flipgrid comes from. And students are able to see each other's videos. If you allow them to, they're able to like each other's videos. They're able to video respond to each other. So it creates this like really dynamic conversation between students where they're not just submitting their own videos, but also learning from each other. Hello, today we'll be discussing the topic of coronavirus. So coronavirus, it's a virus that comes from a large family of viruses that cause illnesses. Now, this is called a novel coronavirus, and it's a new strain that's never seen in humans before. They usually infect other living things. It's just really awesome that Flipgrid almost looks like a social networking platform, which is, again, what these students are used to using on a daily basis. But now you're kind of tailoring it so it's more educational and it's serving a purpose that will help you deliver your content in an engaging and fun way. My third creative way for increasing student engagement is using daily check-ins or weekly check-ins. So using Google Forms, you can create a check-in form, which basically allows you to keep track of students' social emotional well-being, but you could also integrate a section that students can check every time that they would complete an assignment. Not only would this help you gain information about the overall well-being of the students, because once again, we're not seeing them on a daily basis. We don't know what kind of day they've had. We don't know what kind of week they've had. We don't know how they're dealing with this e-learning thing because I don't have them in my classroom for them to tell me or for me to kind of pick up on those nonverbal cues. But through this daily check-in, or you can even do a weekly check-in if you don't feel like the daily one is necessary, you're able to get information about how the student is doing, how they felt during the week in terms of the load. Have you been assigning too much? Have you been giving too much work out? Do they fully understand the content? Were they able to finish all the assignments or have they fallen behind? It's a great way for you to get all of this data and use it to really understand where your students are and also stay on top of things in terms of which kind of students are falling behind, which students need a check-in, which students need extra help. So the last creative way to increase student engagement is using Edpuzzle. So I'm sure you guys have heard of Edpuzzle. For those who haven't, it's a website that allows you to integrate questions into videos. I like to do my own videos, so I like to create my own video lessons. I'll upload them to YouTube, and then I'll use Edpuzzle to integrate the assessment questions into my own videos. The only reason I like to create my own videos is because the students are more likely to be engaged if they see a familiar face. And when I'm creating my own content, I guarantee that I'm teaching exactly what they need to know. I'm not giving anything extra or not missing out on anything. By integrating the formative assessments into the videos using Edpuzzle, it's a great way to kind of force the students to watch your videos, because Edpuzzle has this feature where they can't skip through the video to find the answers. They have to watch the whole thing. They can't skip. And that way you're guaranteeing that they're watching the whole video. You're guaranteeing that they're getting all the information necessary. And it's pretty much self-grading if you use the multiple choice option. So that way you're kind of cutting down on the grading time that you need to put in. In addition, Edpuzzle does an excellent job of summarizing all of the student responses. And again, it's a great tool for data analysis. So instead of just having students fill out worksheets or answering questions, which can be a bit boring, by integrating the questions in a video format, it really does increase student engagement and make sure that they are actually watching your videos, getting the content that they need to get, and learning. So I hope that was helpful. Those were my 4 creative ways to increase student engagement during this time that we're all going through, which is e-learning. I hope you guys were able to benefit from my tips. If you guys enjoy these kinds of videos, please make sure that you subscribe. And I'm going to be trying to put out more of these videos as the time goes by. This is my first video, so I am feeling a bit awkward, but I hope I did a okay job. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.
Right. Hope you got some idea about student engagement. There are lots of ways we are going to explain, discuss all these things, right? Lots of things in our next lesson, today lesson. Now, I'll go to the lesson again. Previous lesson. Previous lesson means the lesson we were doing from yesterday, right? Not yesterday, day before yesterday. Right. I showed you this video also. If we go to next lesson, we will go through, we will watch this too, right? Quickly.
Are you a teacher with a passion to inspire?
We will watch this after we again in this lesson also we have to talk about little bit about gamification, right? Gamification we discussed before too. We already know, but we will watch a video related to gamification after we do that, right? Even in this lesson, we have to discuss about gamification briefly. Okay, now I'm going to go to the fourth lesson. I will share it now. Do you get these lessons from your campus through LMS?
Yes, madam. Last one we didn't get. I think.
Last one means today one, right?
Yes, yesterday one only we didn't get.
That's my fault actually. I haven't shared. I think I will just write. I will share. Okay,
Next all we received, madam.
Others you got. No? Okay,
Yes.
I'm just now I'm sending this one.
Okay, madam.
A second for that. Unit 4. Unit 4. PPT also okay, right? I usually share this PDF sometimes because students cannot open PPTs. If you give me like a couple of minutes, I will quickly convert it to PDF and then share, right? Now, you usually use your LMS, right? That is also something related to e-learning, no? Are there any problems of like using LMS, doing this video conferencing and online classes? These things you usually do. You have to improve your technology integration in your classrooms. You have to use different, very recent and advanced technologies. At least if you use online quizzes, making quizzes through using different apps, then it's good. You can make Google Classrooms. If you're having tuition classes, you can do Google Classrooms. Make Google Classroom and include your lessons, the assignments to that classroom. Anytime students can join the classroom and find their assignments, lessons, and even they can add some things. Simple things you can do like that. Just okay, just now I shared that, right? Unit 4. Now only we are going to start Unit 4. Okay. Now the unit 4 is online teaching strategies. What did we do in last lesson, last unit? Different tools and technologies. Under that we talked about LMS, um, video conferences, tools, conferencing tools and online class tools, different. Even we discussed some strategies used in those particular tools and technologies. Now, directly we are going to talk about online teaching strategies. Why do we need these online teaching strategies? Strategies means bit intensive, like very critical thing, very, if we want to do something very creatively, more effectively, right? Then we call that it's a strategy. In Sinhala we call upaya marga. Upaya marga, when we say upaya marga, we use our tricks and tips, we use our maximum effort, we use our creativity, we make some extra effort to make it more effective. Then it becomes a strategy, right? So here we tell that online teaching strategies, not methods, not techniques, not approaches, but strategies. Because we try to make it more effective. We try to make it more effective. When we want to transform this digital learning, for e-learning we can use digital learning term too. We want to transform this without just read the screen, just transmit knowledge through online, just sit in front of the screen, we sit, and our students also alonely sit there. We don't have any interactions and we just transmit knowledge. But although we think it is e-learning, it is not e-learning. We have to make a transformation for digital learning or e-learning. Actually, this online teaching, e-learning is an art and also science. It requires more strategical pathways, right? If we want to make it more effective, right, it needs more strategic ways to use. For that, as teachers, we have to develop ourselves. We should know advanced technologies. Not only that, most importantly, we should emphasize on human connection and interaction. Why? Because through e-learning, you always miss this interaction part. Unless we make huge effort or unless we use very creative strategies to keep it, we always miss this part, interaction and connection in between. In between peers, in between teacher and children. It is very hard to maintain that. Okay. So for teachers, if we want to, now I told right now, y'all have to have professional development to do this. Not to know about technology. For that also you need professional development trainings. But not only that, maintaining this human connection and interaction is something in next level, right? If we want to go to that level, maintaining connection and interaction in e-learning, although it's a hard thing, we have to do something. Okay. So as teachers, you can do these things, continuous learning about different technologies, different technological strategies. And also you can develop your technological development. Continuous learning means always you have to be updated. Day by day, there are different new things. So we have to continuously know about these things and get updated. Other than that, Not only updating, you also have to develop your skills, technological skills you have to develop. And also pedagogical innovation. Pedagogical innovation means, pedagogy means, what is pedagogy? Can you tell me what is pedagogy?
Teaching.
Teaching, way of teaching, correct.
Yes.
Way of teaching. Basically, we can say teaching methodologies. How we are going to teach our children. Sometimes, although we have all the knowledge, just take science subject. Science graduates have all knowledge, total knowledge about science. But if they are not trained as teachers, they don't know how to give that knowledge to children. Pedagogy is how you are going to give something, give the education to your students using some way, using some strategy, even teaching methodology. Okay, so pedagogical innovation means innovation, new ways you have to find. Maybe your own creative ways, maybe some way found by somebody else. Now you right now, just now you watched one video that lady said different innovative ways of teaching to make the students engaged. Likewise, you also have to have innovation methods, innovative pedagogical methods, right? You have to learn continuously. You have to develop your skills. You have to add your pedagogical innovation to transform this digital learning. All right. Now I said student engagement is the most burning problem in this e-learning. Even in last lesson, last unit, we discussed student engagement maintaining is as a challenge in e-learning, as a challenge. Therefore, we have to use some strategies to maintain student engagement. Virtual environment means e-learning environment. Virtual means online. No? So, virtual environment, we have to maintain student engagement. That is very hard. Even I think that for this PGDE course, there are more students, but engagement is low. Okay. So what are the strategies that we can use to maintain student engagement? One thing, interactive multimedia content, real-time polling and feedback mechanisms, personalized learning pathways, gamification of learning experiences, and multimedia content delivery. Right? Shall we discuss one by one? First one, interactive multimedia content. What is interactive multimedia content? That means different types of content combined together. It can be multiple medias. It can be dynamic ways. However, it should be interactive. It should allow learner to interact with others. And not only that, it should be simulated multiple sensory experiences. Sensory experiences means, now, sometimes we can hear. Hearing is a sense. And seeing something, that is also a sense. Touching something also a sense. Smelling, right? These are the main sensory organs. Sensories, even tasting. Therefore, if we can use different sensory, if we can give them different sensory experiences through our e-learning, it is also multimedia content. Multimedia content, different media we use, audio, video, virtual laboratory, virtual field trips. When we use this interactive multimedia, we can promote active learning participation. Obviously, they will actively participate when we have interactive multimedia content. Because different people's, different students' choices are different. That's why we have to use different types of interactive multimedia content. These are some examples: video-based interactions, animated simulations, gamified learning modules. For all these things, again, there are small examples for video-based interactions. Then animated simulations. Read, right? Whenever we want to show some scientific process, virtual lab experience, historical scenario, mathematics concepts. For all these things, we can use animated simulations. Gamified learning modules are like game-based things, giving points, achievement tracking, narrative-driven learning, role-playing scenario, competitive learning experiences. Likewise, we can develop different games to games as our multimedia contents, right? Video-based, animated, gamified, different interactive multimedia contents. Then the second one, now I explain, what did I explain? Interactive multimedia content. First one, interactive multimedia content. Then the second one, personalized learning pathways. What is personalized learning pathways? Right now I explained, I think, in the last session, lesson. We have to differentiate our teaching according to students' differences. That is personalizing, individualizing. So what are the things that we can do for that? What are the approaches? We can tailor learning experiences to individual students' needs. Without giving the same experience to all the students, we can differentiate, tailor according to different needs. Their learning experience. As an example, while I am lecturing to you, right? I can give a video to watch to know the same thing for some other students, differentiating, tailoring learning experiences. Now also, I explain some part of the lecture and I let you watch a video. You learn something through the video. Without showing that video, taking that things to my notes and PPTs, I can just explain that too. But I thought you have to go through different ways because you also have your own choices. Right? Students who like to watch video, they will learn from that. Likewise, we have to personalize their learning pathways. Now, not only learning experience. Now, I gave this example for learning experience. Learning, knowing about e-learning through the lecture. Right? Then, learning about e-learning by watching a video. Different learning experiences, two type of learning experiences, not the same type of experience. You get the same content. You may achieve the same learning objective, but you receive that through different learning experiences, lecture method and video, right? Then adapt content pace and learning strategies. Yeah, sometimes whenever we feel that child cannot understand that much deep content in detail things, then we can adapt it according to the student's need. Even e-learning, it's very easy. Very easily you can find different levels of knowledge. different levels, content in different levels. Hmm? Even you can differentiate, adapt to your learning strategies. Then recognize unique student strengths, interests, and learning styles. That's how you are going to personalize children's learning. First of all, actually, you have to recognize their uniqueness. Some of them have different strengths. Everyone has some interest. They all share some learning style, right? Only we know about these things, we can personalize their learning pathways according to their strengths, interests, and learning styles. If we recognize them, we can personalize their learning pathways. Hmm? And also provide flexible progression through educational content. Flexible progression. That means, now I always criticize this thing. We think we have to evaluate children in the same way. Okay? We think all the children should pass mathematics, all the children should get this cut of marks for scholarship exam to say that they are passed, right? All the children should go through this to continue their higher education. Likewise, we evaluate children according to some standardized level. That's why we call them standardized tests that we do in schools as a term test, even as a monthly test, some all the O levels and A levels, these national exams. All these things are standardized test. Standardized test. There is some accepted standard that students have to achieve, but it is actually unfair because they have their uniqueness. Their progression is different from one to another. Hmm? So when you use these personalized learning pathways, you may provide flexible progression. Flexible progression. That means personalized measurements, evaluation. You will be flexible. Without saying that if you can't get that pass marks, you can't go to a level section. It's not like that. Personalization, you understand that children are different, they are unique, they have unique talents, unique attitudes. According to that, we have to address them, right? Personalized learning pathways. Then the fourth one, I'm talking about how to maintain student engagement. For that, some strategies, interactive multimedia content we discussed. Personalized learning pathways, I have done this real-time polling and feedback mechanisms, right? Did I? Did I do this second one? I think no.
No, ma'am.
After interactive multimedia content. We have to do real-time polling and feedback. That's fine. Now we will finish this and we'll come to this personalized learning pathways means how to personalize, how to treat children according to their differences, according to their uniquenesses, right? We will see what are the types of personalization and the types of personalization. That means we differentiate the same word, same idea, right? Differentiation also, individualization also, same idea. When we do this personalization or differentiation, we can do this to different aspects. To the content, to the learning materials, to the learning environment, to the assessment methods, we can do. We can make different things, different ways of doing the same thing. Assessments we can do in different ways. Materials we can make in different types. So likewise, we have different types of Personalization. One type, content personalization. We can personalize content. We can use varied learning materials, different media formats. Even we can customize reading levels. When we give examples, context, we have to tailor them according to their living areas, according to their environments. We can give different examples. For rural area, but the examples that we are giving cannot not be appropriated to urban areas. Therefore, we have to change them. That means personalization. Content personalization. Pace personalization. What is pace personalization? Sometimes we let children to learn by themselves, self-paced learning modules. In Open University, it's like that. Even you, some of you might listen to recording and do it by yourself. Self-paced learning modules, flexible time allocations. That is also paced personalization. Now, when we allocate time for PGDE students, we know that they are teachers, they don't have time, therefore we can take night time, evening time. Likewise, we change the flexible time allocation, adaptive progress tracking. Yeah, always we can track progress. Optional acceleration or remediation learning. Remediation learning means whenever we understand that one particular student can't achieve some goal or can't understand something, for that particular child, we can do some specific treatment, remedial treatment. That is also part of personalization. Style adaptation, teaching style, we can adapt, change, visual according to their learning styles. Already we know there are visual learners, auditory learners, kinesthetic learners, and also mixed mode content learners. Therefore, when we use different resources, we have to use visual learner resources, auditory learning options, kinesthetic learning experiences, because we have different types of children. We don't know which type will be aligned with their learning style. When we use different learning styles, when we adapt our style, it will be aligned with lots of students, right? These are types of personalization. All right. How we are going to use technology? Now we are talking about e-learning now. How we are going to use technology in this personalization, technological enablers, how we can enable this concept through technology. One thing, artificial intelligence, then learning management system, right? Artificial intelligence, you already know AI. AI we can use in positive way, effective way. Through AI, we can predict learning analytics. We can intelligent content recommendations, automated learning path generation, performance prediction. These things can be done through AI, artificial intelligence. Okay. Now we are talking about personalization, how to use different technology to develop these personalizations. Artificial intelligence as well as learning management, LMS. They are also, you already know, there are adaptive learning platforms, also comprehensive student tracking, personalization algorithms, systematically how we are going to personalize. Integrated assessment tools, different types of assessment tools we use together. Integration. All right, the fourth strategy, gamification of learning experiences in different places. In this subject, we talk about gamification. You already know gamification is what? It is the strategic application of game design elements and game principles in non-game educational context. Non-game educational context means now Now think when we teach something like sports subject, right? When we teach physical education subject, we have to do tournaments, games. But when it is a non-game educational context, right? We use some game elements, game principle with the intention of enhancing students' motivation, increasing engagement, improving learning outcomes, making educational experiences more enjoyable. Keeping these intentions in our mind, if we apply something, if we do something in our educational context, we call that gamification of learning experiences. I didn't include much more because all the time we talk about gamifications and we know different games. But I told you that I'm going to show you that video when we come to this slide, right? So I'm going to show you that video now. Give me 1 second. Right? Wait, I should find this. Yeah, I see.
Learn valuable business and IT skills in your own time and at your own pace with HP Life, a free online skills training program. HP Life is a program of the
Hey guys, welcome to Teacher Diaries. So these are my top 10 applications for game-based learning. Enjoy watching. If you have any comments and suggestions, just comment down below.
Hi, Kahoot. We're on a mission to make learning awesome. Our game-based learning platform is used by millions of people all over the world. Teachers, students, company employees, and lifelong learners. Kahoot makes it easy to create fun learning games or trivia quizzes in minutes, anytime, anywhere. We call them Kahoot. It works for any subject, in any language, on any device. You can also discover and play existing games. There are millions of Kahoots in our library. Kahoot can be played in a live setting with questions on a big screen or on your mobile device where you see questions and answers on one screen. As well as in schools, Kahoot is played in companies, at events, and even parties to make learning awesome. Sign up today at kahoot.com. Let's play! same time. Here's how it works. First, create a new quiz or mix and match millions of teacher-created questions. Next, students play at their own pace, in class or at home. Every learner competes to improve, and retakes are a cinch. While students play, Quizzes handles the grading. Instantly, you see what each student has mastered, know where they can improve, and share their progress with tools like Google Classroom. Find a quiz now. It's free. Quizlet Live, the easy-to-use classroom game that blends competition and collaboration to engage every student in learning. Quizlet Live groups students into teams that must work together to win. While teams are prompted with the same set of questions, each teammate sees different possible answers, and only one person per team has the match. Students need to communicate to choose the correct answer and move forward in the game. As they play, the teacher's screen acts as an interactive leaderboard, tracking each team's progress and adding fire to the competition. If a team answers incorrectly, they go all the way back to the start, so choosing simply for speed won't work. Instead, the stronger their teamwork, the faster they'll go. And the first team to correctly answer all questions in a row wins. When the game ends, the teacher can lead a class review, or easily start a new round to give students another chance at glory. To play, you'll need an internet connection, one device per student, a teacher-controlled computer, and a way to project. Start by logging into your Quizlet account and choosing a study set. Select Live to generate a game code, then project your screen so your class can see. Have students open the Quizlet app or go to quizlet.live in their browser. After they enter the code, they can add their name to join the game. Everyone in? Your students will be instantly grouped into teams. If possible, ask them to get up to sit with their teammates. When they're settled, start the game and let the fun begin. Quizlet Live. Competition, collaboration, ultimate student engagement. Free for all teachers on Quizlet. Want to create amazing video lessons in minutes? Edpuzzle is your missing piece. With Edpuzzle, you can choose from the millions of videos available from YouTube, National Geographic, TED Talks, Khan Academy, and more. You can also reuse ready-to-go video lessons made by other teachers or upload your very own teaching video. Then, use Edpuzzle's video editor to create your perfect lesson. Embed your own questions to check your students' understanding, cut sections to show your students only the most important parts of the video, and even record voiceover so you can explain concepts in your own words. Once you've finished, you can assign it to your students in just one click and prevent skipping to make sure your students don't miss a thing. When you want to check in on your students' progress, use Edpuzzle's hassle-free analytics to get all the information you need. See who still needs to watch the video, what your students responded, and their total scores. So remember, with Edpuzzle's free platform, you can make any video your lesson. Introducing Nearpod. With Nearpod, you can make every lesson interactive. Launch lessons your students can't wait to join with collaborative, engaging activities like virtual reality, simulations, and gamified quizzes. As the teacher, you'll always know where your students are with Nearpod's formative assessment, including polls, open-ended questions, drawings, and more. Get started with what you already have. Upload any of your favorite resources, PowerPoints, Google Slides, and videos, including directly from YouTube. Then, add in media and formative assessment in a few clicks. And now you can add questions directly into videos to make them interactive. Get started even faster. Our library of pre-made lessons and videos, built in partnership with some of your favorite brands. You can use them as is or customize to meet the unique needs of your students. Once you're ready to launch your lesson, choose from the 3 teaching modes: In live participation mode, you control the pace, and students participate on their devices, either in person or remotely with web conferencing. In student-paced mode, students move through and participate on their own, whether they're working from home or in class working in centers, stations, or groups. With front-of-class mode, you can use Nearpod without student devices and facilitate collaborative discussion. Imagine what you can do with Nearpod. Your students will love this provide engaging media with collaborative ways for them to show off how much they've learned. You'll love unlocking student understanding in real time and having reports to inform the next day's instruction. You'll wonder how you taught without it. Learn more and get started for free at nearpod.com.
Hello and welcome to Bluecare. In order to get started, you can go ahead and create a free account using the sign up button. If you already have an account, you just click login. We can then log in. Notice that you can either log in using Google or your Bluecare username and password. Once you log in, you'll be taken to your dashboard page. Here you can use the sidebar to navigate. You can see recent news, your question sets, your favorite question sets, your recent and live homeworks, any quests, and then your recently hosted games in the history section. In order to get started, we'll have to get a question set to host a live game. Now you can either create a question set by clicking this button or this one, or you can discover sets by going to the Discover tab and then looking at the recently featured sets and selecting one. You can also use the search bar to search for sets. For example, Spanish words. And then we can just select any set. And then you'll be taken to the set page where you can view the different questions, the answers, and then two buttons at the top. The solo button is mainly for students if they want to play a game alone. You'll want to click the host button. Now you'll be taken to a page with all of our currently available game modes. Click a game mode to learn more. Notice at the bottom of the game mode, you'll see a button where it says host game, assign homework, or homework and host. Now you can click any of these options. We'll start with the homework. So let's say you want to create a homework so students can do this on their own time. Perfect for remote learning. Go ahead and click homework and it'll take you to a settings page. The students will only have until this time to complete the homework. You can extend this time by changing the value here. You can also change the homework title so you can better identify it. Now for our homework, you'll want to set a goal. You can use our default goals and select either a time-based game or a cash-based game where students have to earn a certain amount of money before they're complete. You can now go ahead and click assign the homework. It'll generate a game ID that students can use to join the game. You'll be able to see students' progress down here and how many questions they're getting correct. If you want to create a live game, go back and select a live game mode. Click host. Then once again, we'll be taken to a settings page. Just click host now. And now you get a live game with the game ID that students can join right now. This is perfect for in-class or on Zoom calls. Now that about wraps up all you need to get started with Bluecare. For more in-depth tutorials, check out the rest of the videos on this channel. Thank you.
Let's have a very quick tour of Socrates. So I'm going to log in using Face ID. And once I'm in, this is my screen. The first thing I do is invite students to my room by clicking on the share link next to the room and sharing the link through email or messages. And then the students tap on the link and join my room. I go to launch. I launch a quiz that I've already created. I choose the way in which I want to launch it. In this case, it's going to be instant feedback. And then I hit the start button and start the quiz. Students can then join my quiz, and I begin to see a real-time view of which students are joining, which questions are being answered correctly, incorrectly, the percentage pass rate for each question, and I'm also getting to see which students complete the quiz. I also can get data in the form of a spreadsheet that will tell me which students got answers correct, color-coded, correct and incorrect answers, allowing me to clear misconceptions. I can also download a question level analysis document which allows me to kind of see how many students got questions wrong and if those specific questions need to be corrected as misconceptions. And that is Socrative in 90 seconds.
Looking to create interactive learning games, but have no time to learn how? With EduCandy, you can create engaging activities in minutes. Just enter your words or questions and answers, and EduCandy turns your content into cool interactive games. Once you've created an activity, a unique code is generated. Simply share that code with your students, and they'll be able to play the game on their own device, in class, at home, or even on the bus on the way to school. You can even embed the games into your own website if you want to. The games you create can be played on individual computers, tablets via the EduCandy app, as well as on the interactive whiteboard. There are 8 types of games you can generate. Create a free account today and start building your bank of resources, or copy and adapt games shared by our community. You create, you share, they play. It's as simple as that. EduCandy, making learning sweeter. Welcome to Classcraft. Classcraft turns your class into a game that'll last the whole school year. You'll be playing in teams as different characters. By working together, you'll level up and earn powers that give you real benefits in class. Let's take a look at the game rules. Your teacher is now the game master. Whenever they see you doing good actions in class, like answering a question correctly or being helpful to others, they'll reward you with experience points or XP. Earning XP will grant you powers. These are special abilities that help you on homework and tests, give your team a boost, or provide you with other cool perks in class. You can use powers as long as you have enough action points or AP. These regenerate a little every day at midnight. Mages also have powers that can restore extra AP too. But be careful, if you break the class rules, you could lose health points or HP, and even fall in battle. When this happens, you'll receive a sentence or consequence. Cause damage to the rest of your team. That's why it's so important for your team to work together. By supporting each other, you'll all succeed. Let's start playing by choosing your character. Will you be a mage who has enough energy to make sure everybody can use their power? The warrior, mighty defender of your team? Or the healer, who's ready to revive your teammates at a moment's notice? In addition to great powers, you can also gain gold pieces or GP for leveling up and going above and beyond. These will let you customize the look and feel of your character. So, are you ready to start playing? Set up your characters and let the adventure begin.
Okay, I hope you have of gaming ideas here. Also, there are thousands of gaming, right? So even you can use your creativity, your innovative abilities, and even you can design new games, right? That is actually learning. That is one of the way that we can maintain student engagement in e-learning through gamification, right? It was our 4th one here, right? 4th one, gamification. Okay, then the 5th one, it. This is right. Interactive multimedia content we discussed, real-time polling we didn't. We have to do that. Personalized learning pathways we discussed. Gamification we briefly discussed and we watched a video. we have to talk about real-time polling and multimedia content delivery. So we will go to real-time first because we have skipped that, right? Real-time. Right. Real-time polling and feedback mechanisms are like, I just included example scenarios that we can use. Real-time polling and feedback means at the same time, we give students the feedback, right? We give students the um, uh, evaluation, assessment results. Like when they give answers, we respond quickly, right? For that, we can use different types of strategies during lecture, before the lecture, or before we do the classroom. During lecture means during our teaching learning process, before we come to the classroom as a pre-preparation, after we finish the lesson, finish the class as a post-lesson reflection. In these three phases, we can use these polling and feedback mechanisms. During lecture, what we can do, we can pause during lecture means here not only lecture, right? Lecture method we use in classrooms like explanations, teach also do lectures. While we are teaching something, explaining something, we can pause every 10 to 15 minutes for a quick 2-3 question poll. Okay. Otherwise, now I'm just doing the lecture throughout the time. Then I don't know whether you are connected, whether you are listening. So if I want to make some interaction, then I have to pause after 10-15 minutes and then I can ask 2-3 questions. Now, thing is for you, if I ask questions, you two will not attend next day. That's the problem, right? But for children, for your e-learning teaching, as teachers, you have to use these strategies. Even although we don't use, even for this tertiary education, for you also, it's better if we can make you connected, asking questions like this. Then second strategy, assess understanding of recently explained concepts. Sometimes I ask you some things, whether you have understood, to assess whether you have understood. I just ask something about related concepts I explain. It's like that. Redirect explanation if students show confusion. If you feel confused, if the students feel confused, if I understood that they haven't understood, then I can redirect explanations. I can explain it using some other way, using some different examples, using some different definitions, or using some different strategy like showing a video. I can explain again if the students have doubts. This is during teaching. Then before the class preparation, pre-class preparation, as teachers, we can send a quick poll before the lesson to understand prior knowledge, right? All the time, students have some prior knowledge. Then we have to connect that prior knowledge to the present class, present lesson, to know whether they have prior knowledge, and to sometimes to revise their prior knowledge, we can send some questions, quizzes before the class. Customize content based on students' responses. Yeah, when we give content also we can customize according to students' responses. According to their responses, we can send different types of customized content before we start the classroom. Then pause lesson reflection, conduct a feedback poll on lesson effectiveness. Yeah, we can get feedback from students about the lesson effectiveness, gather insights on teaching approach. We can ask questions, we can discuss and collect some their insights about teaching processes we use, teaching approaches we use, encourage student reflection. Even we can ask them to reflect themselves by writing about their understanding, their engagement. Right? Reflection means we think about us again. We think about us deeply we think and we write down that reflection is when we go inside the mirror, we reflect ourselves. So reflecting ourselves, think about our thought faults, think about our own actions. It is reflection. So we can ask children to reflect themselves, whether they have understood, whether they have paid their attention to the lesson, these things. That is after lesson, as post-lesson reflection we can do. These are the real-time polling and feedback mechanisms that we can use online. Especially online, we have to use these things to keep them interactive. Then we talked about personalized learning pathways. Then the last one here, fifth one, multi-model content delivery. We as the first one, we discussed interactive multimedia content. I just explained multi-model content delivery and stop, right? Only that. Next day, I will do extra 15 minutes and also following day. Next 2 days, I will do 2 hours and 15 minutes. Right. Multimodal content delivery, that means we use different approaches, educational approaches like this. Present information through multiple sensory modes, accommodate diverse learning preferences, enhances comprehension and retention, provides flexible learning experiences. So that means basically usually we use different types, different models as the content. That is the same thing that we discussed in first one. When we deliver our content, we deliver it as multi-models because we have diverse learners. Therefore, we have to use flexible learning experiences according to their needs and their level. We can use multiple different sensory modes like visual, kinesthetic, auditory. And also we have to let them to give them opportunity to use different their learning preferences according to their choice. See some examples, visual modes, auditory modes, kinesthetic modes. As visual modes, we can use text, images, infographics, videos, diagrams, animations, illustrations. Auditory modes, spoken lectures, podcast, audio explanations, sound effects, music, verbal instructions. In kinesthetic modes, interactive simulations, hands-on activities, physical demonstrations, virtual laboratories, role play exercises, practical workshops. Okay. Likewise, we can use different types of modes. We call that multimodal content delivery. We give the content in different modes, different models. Example, visual modes, auditory modes, kinesthetic modes. Inside that, there are examples included. Okay. So we talked about different strategies that we can use to maintain student engagement. Okay. After that, now the lesson is, what is the lesson? Online teaching strategies. Online teaching strategies. In online teaching strategies, the most important thing is maintaining students' engagement. After that, we have to talk about important techniques that we can use. Okay. Next day we will finish this, and we will go to the fifth lesson. We have only 6 units, right? Okay, then any doubts? Anything to discuss before you leave? Is that clear? The lesson?
Yes, madam. Madam, in exam, can we write the answer in point form or we have to explain for 5 marks
You
like
have
that?
Yeah, you have to explain. It is up to the question type. There are like structured essay type questions, right? Let's see the format. According to the format, you can decide it. Actually, don't take this, especially for this e-learning. I made my PowerPoints as this, like this short form with this point forms, because that is the way of making PowerPoint presentation. I wanted to show you that correct way of making PowerPoint presentations. Although in lectures, we included like lots of things in the same slide, like Hali wage api දාන්නේ, because students needs notes නිසා. But here I didn't do that because I want to show it now as the model here, as in e-learning.
Yes.
Therefore, actually, I included point forms. The things that we explained are very important, right? We discussed all the things in detail, although I included like these points, right?
Oh, okay.
Now, if the question is like explain, let's see how you are going to, let's see one slide we discussed. If the question is explain the strategies that teachers can use in virtual environments to maintain students' engagement. Explain. Then you can't write interactive multimedia content, real-time polling. You can say there are different types of strategies, including following. Then you write this 5 or 3 or 4. Then one by one you have to explain using like by 2-3 sentences. What are interactive multimedia contents and examples? Definition of real-time polling and examples. Likewise, gamifications, what is gamifications and the games that you can integrate it. Likewise, you have to elaborate and write. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Right then. Okay then. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, madam. Good night.